Hi, it's Mrs. Rivera. I just wanted to show you what you needed to do for your journal this week. So, you should do this journal entry after you read all up to chapter 10 in of A Boy Called Bat. I have the readings on the Pulaski fourth grade Google Classroom page if you want to listen to the story while you read. So, this is based on chapter 10. That's the last chapter that you need to read this week. And I'll read this to you. I'll show you the directions, and then I'm going to explain my example because that's kind of what I want you to do after you're done. So, this is Journal 6, and it's called Collaboration, A Boy Called Bat. In chapter 10 of A Boy Called Bat, Mr. Grayson, which is his teacher, had the students collaborate, which means work together, to create a volcano project. But Bat didn't like collaboration. He didn't like working together. He wanted to work by himself. He found it annoying when they asked him questions he didn't want to share. This is your journal entry, this is your journal question. What advice would you give Bat in order to be more successful and happier during the group work activity? And how could you help him? So, Bat doesn't want to collaborate and work in his group, and I'm asking you to write about what advice would you give him or what would you tell him so that he would be happy working in a group activity, and how could you help him? Okay, so that's what you need to write about this week. So the directions are write a few sentences. Now you see I wrote a paragraph, so you might need to do that as well. Write a few sentences to answer the questions and give details. So I'm giving you my example. I don't want you to copy me, but I do want you to look at mine so that you have an idea of what I'm expecting, my expectation for your journal entry. I don't just want one sentence. I don't want a list. I want you to put it in a piece of writing. And you can see that I made it into a paragraph. You see how I indented right here? I left a little space. That's what you should do when you start yours also. And you could write it right underneath mine. You could just go here, press return, 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 and then tab, and then it will bring you right to a new page and you could start typing there. Okay? So here is my example. I could relate to Bat because I also like to work by myself. So that's part of my opinion, and that's kind of like how I related to the story because I really do like to work by myself. So I think I would probably have a hard time working in a group too. If I were to give Bat some advice, I would tell him to think about how he could contribute to the group. Maybe there is something he does very well that he could add to the group work. Then he could share his idea with the group. I would also remind Bat that he might find better ideas from listening to the other kids in his class. Those are ways that I would help Bat. So you notice how this is my closing sentence. It kind of tells you what I just talked about. Make sure you do that also, okay? So that's my little blurb or little paragraph about what I would do to give Bat advice about working in a group. You might have some different ideas. If you need to write your ideas first, you could always do this. You could put bullets and write your ideas down first. Idea number 1, idea number 2, etc. That might help you organize your thoughts before you do your paragraph. Okay? It's up to you. So if you don't need to do that part, you could just go right into the writing. That's your choice. If you do not follow directions, I will send it back to you. So please try to follow directions the first time. If you need help, you know where I am. You could always comment or write to me or meet me in Google Meet. So that is that.